Do you struggle with motivation? Today we're going to go over 5 mistakes most people make that makes them less motivated. Now the first mistake would be trying to extrinsically reward yourself. Now for some habits that may work, but if you're extrinsically rewarding yourself for things that you actually find intrinsically motivating in themselves, that will actually lower your motivation. For example, there was this study with toddlers who all like drawing, and then they split these toddlers into 2 groups. One group simply was a control group, whereas the other one was rewarded for drawing. And then what happened after a couple of weeks, when both groups didn't get any rewards anymore, they wanted to see which of the 2 groups would go on drawing. And it turns out that the extrinsically motivated group, even though they liked drawing in the beginning, by giving them these rewards, they stopped drawing. If you reward someone for doing something they already like, that basically gives them the impression, well, if that person has to reward me to get me to do that certain thing, then that must mean that what I'm doing that I actually found fun isn't that fun after all. And then the second mistake would be saying to yourself that you have to do this, because that basically implies that you don't necessarily want to do that thing, and it's kind of a burden that you have to get down, have to get out of the way because it's not enjoyable. And also whenever anyone tells us to not do something, we kind of want to actually rebel. And if you tell yourself that you have to do that, then you will procrastinate even more, simply because you don't like authority, even if it's yourself telling yourself that you need to do something. So instead of saying that you have to do something, just change it to I get to do this and that. That actually makes you grateful because it puts it in a way that it's an opportunity, that it's something that you want to do. And then the third mistake is that most people wait for motivation. And if you just wait for motivation, that could take a very long time. Most people think that you first need to be motivated to actually take action. But it's also the case that when we take action, we feel more motivated to do that again. And this is due to self-efficacy. When you've done something you're proud of, and because you feel proud and confident, you know that you're capable of doing so, and therefore you're more likely to repeat that behaviour in future. But it's also the case that because feeling confident and proud feels really great, you're going to be more likely to repeat that behaviour because you're intrinsically rewarding yourself for having done that. And if you know anything about habits, a habit loop consists of the trigger, the routine and reward. Then you're going to want to repeat that behaviour because you've rewarded yourself. In most cases, we are more likely to act ourselves into feeling than to feel ourselves into taking action. And taking action also makes us more motivated because our self-image changes. And as James Clear explains in his book Atomic Habits, real behaviour change occurs when you also change your identity, your self-image, and not only your habits. And the fourth thing that kills our motivation is all or nothing thinking. This is basically what happens on diets. You tell yourself that you're not going to have any cookies, and then you have one single bite, and because you have that one single bite, you feel, well, now I've already failed, now I might as well have all the other cookies. And then the fifth mistake, somehow we tend to think that if we want to be extremely motivated, we have to be really cruel to ourselves, be really angry at ourselves to get ourselves to take action. However, many studies on procrastination and food choices and so on have found that self-compassion and better mood in general actually lead to better decisions. This actually makes very much sense because when we feel sad, we feel kind of passive and very low energy. And our prefrontal cortex, our brain region up here, which is there for willpower, decision making, all that kind of stuff, takes up a lot of energy. And if we have very little energy because we're very sad, then we're going to make worse decisions. Now, if you want to know what you need to do to be more motivated, and not only what you want to avoid, you can watch this video here.